after you have told him that you don't care about whether he is Muslim or he adhere to any religion, but the fact that he affects the productivity of the factory, of course, you can decide on this step. But we have to make sure that before solving any this kind of problem, we have to seek more information from you. So I want to ask you whether you have signed a employment contract with him.
Of course, every time when we hire a worker, we make the contract with employee.
And it has a fixed duration, or it has a fixed duration contract, or it has no limit length in the contract.
Normally in the contract, we just sign. We don't mention about fixed or the length of like that. Just sign the labor contract with the employee.
Just to prove that you have been employed in one employee like this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's your story, if I'm not wrong. And you are 35 years old and you work for a factory which is located outside Phnom Penh City, right? And that factory produces aluminum can.
Yes.
And you are, according to your work experience for 5 years, you have been promoted to be a production manager, right?
Yes.
And you are also does not allow any strike to happen in a factory. And one day, you encounter a problem with an employee, right?
Yes.
And his name is Salat.
Yes.
And he worked in an assembling line.
Yes.
And which is like responsible for stamping the can.
Stamp the logo on the can.
Yeah, stamp the logo on the can. And you found out that he is the one who caused a little bit problem about the process of his line, right?
Yes.
I mean, like he make the line stop for 3 times a day.
Yes.
And each time it's consumed 5 minutes.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Which simply means that you think that it will affect the transaction of the productivity of the company.
It is not what I think, but the real situation comes like it's really affect to the productivity.
Okay. And so after that, you decided to call him to your office and talk with him, right?
Yes.
About the problem. If he's still doing this the same way again, he will be fired. And that is the first warning. And after that, he go back to the work. He stopped praying for a while.
Yes.
And after a few days, he started to pray again. But this time it's more serious than the other time.
Yes.
And you can see like a lot of like chaotic action or movements, such as those who does not believe in ethnic charm, such as Salat do. They sit around chit chat without doing any work, right?
Yes, because a whole line.
Yeah.
If one person stops, so the other person has to stop too, because cannot do anything.
Yeah. And that is the time that you decided to call him again to your office and fire him.
Yes.
Okay. And after he received that information that you fire him, and then he sent you a letter which claimed that this has happened because of religious discrimination.
Yes. He actually did like that.
He also pointed out that he's going to like talk with labor inspector or other union, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So now I'm really concerned about this problem, because it's really affect to my job. You know, as a manager, I don't want to allow any strike to happen in the factory. And I also don't want to let this problem long. I mean that just want to find the proper, the legal solution for this problem as short as possible.
I see.
So how long that you think that it will take for this?
You know, whether it depends on the situation, I have to, because I did not get full information, so I might ask you some questions related to this so that I can answer your question later on. And how long have the worker been working for the factory?
More than half year.
Half year. And how many times that you warned that employee?
Just one time that I called him to my office.
One time.
Yes.
And did you give a prior notice to him before fire him?
At that time, we just have a conversation. I spoke in oral warning.
For the first time, that if he commit that again, then you will fire.
Yes.
He will be fired.
Yes.
I see.
So after you told him that he is fired from the factory, do you still allow him to like stay to work something out, or you just tell him to leave?
If someone get fired, so it means that
He needs to leave immediately.
yes.
Okay.
Because that time I told him that I cannot allow you to do, because he caused many low productivity in the factory, so just fire him.
Okay. So by the way, you mentioned about the union. I wanted to clarify this, because does he belong to a union already, or he just go to the union when the problem happened?
He just mentioned in the letter that he considered to go to discuss with the local union about this problem, and he said that maybe he discuss with the local union and take any action, like some action that I don't know. So.
And are there any ethnic Cham group of people in the factory?
The second time after I warned him, so he has some period of time that he did not pray, but after that he started praying again. So the time that he started praying again, the other line also have some few people start praying like him. So I think that they are also Cham, because Buddhist people cannot pray. Only Cham people pray when the time comes.
Actually, when you first recruit them, did you know about that? Do you know about that Cham, or they inform you that they need praying time during the working time?
No.
No, they did not.
Yes, and in the contract also we don't mention about religion, just the job, worker job description and responsibility only.
I see. Actually, you do the right thing, because you have warned him one time beforehand, and that he committed again, and it affects the productivity of your factory. So it is not wrong that you don't worry that you do it wrong.
But he mentioned that he might go to the Ministry of Labor and fear the lawsuit. So in this case, what can Ministry of Labor do?
When he go to the Ministry of Labor, and did the labor inspector come to your factory and talk with you?
No.
No, not yet.
Yes, not yet.
Not yet. Maybe they just